Since the beginning of human history, we've tried to overcome our ignorance using science and religion to overcome our ignorance of the physical universe and our ignorance of the unseeable world. But they are constantly fighting. At some point, there must emerge a new truth that unifies science and religion. In this video, we will attempt to unify science and religion and uncover the truth of the cosmos in its entirety. Let's start with the topic of causality. Why does anything exist? Instead of a black void of nothingness, we have stuff. According to the law of causality, every effect has a cause. It is impossible for something to cause itself to exist. It would need to have existed beforehand in order to create itself. We must have emerged as a result of something. To truly understand the truth about ourselves, we must understand the nature of our cause. For simplicity, let's call this cause God. The word God means a lot of different things, but let's forget all of the existing definitions and focus on just one thing. God is our cause. To understand God, let's take the example of an artist. We may have never met this artist in person, and yet through the works that were created by this artist, we have a window into their personality, into their nature. Looking at the sum of their works, we can get a feel for their inner nature as a whole. This is true of any artist or creator. By the same analogy, we can understand the nature of God by looking at the nature of the universe. But the universe is so diverse. What does everything in the universe have in common? If we look at all the elements of the animal, plant, and mineral world, one thing they all have in common is dual characteristics. Everything possesses plus and minus attributes. That's one form of dual characteristics. At its core, everything is made up of positive and negative charges interacting with each other. Even on a larger scale, we see countless manifestations of duality in living things, the most obvious one being male and female. Everything also possesses internal nature and external form, some kind of inner workings as well as the outer expression. That's the other form of dual characteristics. This is true of humans, animals, plants, and even minerals and atoms. What does this have to do with how we perceive God? If the art expresses the artist, then nature's dual characteristics expresses God's nature. God exists as the most masculine nature and the most feminine nature at the same time. God is also the harmonious union and source of internal nature and external form. Let's dig a little deeper into this. How can an invisible God that is beyond time and space have an external form? Basically, for the universe to exist, energy is needed. This energy needed to come from somewhere. We can conclude that the external form of God is the energy that allows the universe to exist. We will refer to this energy as universal prime energy. What about God's internal nature? Let's take the highest form of conscious being we know, the human being, and examine its internal nature. The human mind is composed of three components: emotion, intellect, and will. We also know that human beings have an innate desire to connect with one another and receive joy through the giving and receiving of love. We can call this heart as the central component of the human mind. If human beings possess these attributes, whatever caused our existence must also possess these attributes as the original source of emotion, intellect, will, and heart. Let's summarize. We started this conversation by trying to understand the truth about ourselves. We first looked at our cause, then searched for the common elements of the universe, and uncovered that our cause must possess dual characteristics like the rest of us. This cause, who we call God, also must contain the highest level of intellect, emotion, and will, as well as heart, and shares that same universal desire to give and receive love that human beings do. Rather than being a distant, emotionless being, God is a being that we can relate to. God also possesses the highest level of masculinity and the highest level of femininity. In that sense, God can be seen as our parent, both mother and father. God is our heavenly parent. Now that we see a new perspective on our relationship between God and the universe, let's take a closer look at how God and the universe interact. We'll also try to answer the question, what is the point of everything? Watch the next video to continue.